Hey, today I wanted to jump on here, share with you about what I've been doing this winter for both fitness and entertainment. I've been using a exercise-based video game called Zwift, and I was a skeptic for a number of years. Finally gave it a chance, and I've got to say I love it. It's definitely great entertainment during the winter nights, and it also has gotten me in some of the best shape I've been in. So I wanted to share what it is, how it works. Now, most simply, Zwift is basically a deal where you get a smart trainer that communicates with your mobile phone, your laptop, or an Apple TV. And when your little avatar, the person that represents you on the screen, when it goes downhill, it gets easier. When it goes uphill, it gets harder. And then if I get close behind somebody else on the screen, which is a real person from somewhere else around the world, or one of my friends here locally, if I get close behind them, I only have to work about 80%, 75% as hard as the person in front of me. And so that all sounds kind of simple, but I'm going to explain a little bit more about why it sucked me in and why it's gotten me in good shape and why I finally gave it a chance. So as I explain some of that, I'm going to start to give you a tour of the world of Zwift. All right, so right now I'm riding around in the Zwift world of Watopia. And a little bit about myself. First off, I am definitely not a gamer. So I played a little bit of Mario Brothers, Mario Kart, Sonic the Hedgehog as a junior higher. Played a little bit of GoldenEye and Halo as a teenager and in college. But since then, I don't play video games at all. Now, also, I definitely don't consider myself an indoor workout person. So over the years that I've been biking, I got all the gear, good boots, and I was like, you know, if I want to work out, I'll just bundle up and head outside anyway. I just always viewed indoor workouts as boring. So now I'm riding over in the streets of London, and there were a couple things that finally convinced me to give Zwift a chance. So first off, I saw Zwift just take some of my friends' fitness and make it level up in a huge way. So there are two different guys I can think of that in the fall, you know, they were kind of mid-pack riders, carrying a few extra pounds, and I went on rides in the spring, and I was riding next to these two different guys, and they were just super fit. They were faster than me, but they were wearing kits where I knew that they must be somebody that I knew. And so after like 5, 10, 15 minutes of riding next to these guys, I was finally like, who are you? And when they said their name, it blew my mind. Like, both of these guys looked like they'd lost a Backstreet Boy in terms of weight, and they were riding so strong. And so, first off, that was just like, wow, this really does work from a fitness, from a weight management perspective. The second thing, I was on a trip with my buddy Matt Main, also known as the Main Train, and we were talking about Zwift, and he said, you know, I think you really would love it. He said, you have a bit of a mischievous side. He said, when you're out racing and riding, he said, you don't necessarily want to just ride steady or ride smart the whole time. He said, you kind of like to goof around, go hard when other people are riding steady. And he said, you can totally do that in Zwift races, and it'll throw people off. They'll be like, why is this guy going off the front and riding so hard? And you have to make that decision whether to try to catch me. And so that idea that Zwift is a world and a community where you can ride however you want, be kind of playful, kind of play tricks on other riders, that was what kind of finally pushed me to say, yeah, let's go ahead and give this a try. All right, so now I'm over to the world of Neokyo, which is like Zwift's version of Tokyo, and we're riding through a casino. So when I first started using Zwift, the thing that told me I was going to enjoy this is this little message up at the top where it says, close the gap. If somebody rides by you, it'll put up that message. And when I first saw that, my competitive side was just like, like, let's go get that guy. Let's pedal harder. And it was just like right away, it's like, okay, this game, it does get me excited. It does provide motivation. So one of the best things about Zwift is that there are numerous ways to enjoy Zwift. If you were to start Zwifting, the first thing I would recommend you do is joining what's called a pacer group, which there's like 8 to 10 of these different pacer bots that are riding all over the worlds of Zwift. And you can see how many people there are riding with them at any given time. So I'm going to take us back to the Mercury Islands world, and we'll jump in with this pacer bot is named Miguel, and you can see what that looks like. And it's dropping me in among all these other riders, and right now I'm in the middle of this pack, and if I start pedaling harder than all these other riders, you can see where I'm going to move up through the pack. And Miguel is this guy in yellow right here. And so basically you can find a pacer bot that's about your intensity that you would normally ride with. If you want to work harder for a bit, you go up to the front and it's going to increase the resistance. And then when you get worn out, you can drop back into the middle. So right now I'm going up to the very front, and as soon as I get in front of this group here, it's going to instantly make me work harder. All right, there are other ways that people enjoy Zwift. So one, there are a lot of different routes throughout all the worlds of Zwift. And so you can collect badges, which is basically going around and viewing and riding the different routes. So these are all the routes that I've ridden so far, and you can see that there's a lot that I have left to cross off. Now, let's say you're more of a structured workout type of person. There are a number of different ways to do workouts. So first off, you can sign up for multi-week workouts with a specific goal in mind of getting stronger, or maybe pick a race that's 10 weeks out, and these workouts will guide you toward that race. So if you're more of a structured workout type of person, that can be great. Also, at any given time, either on the hour, starting at 15 minutes after the hour, or 30 minutes after the hour, there are these group rides and workouts that you can jump into. So right now, it might even let me jump into this workout with this Team Africa Rising right now. It's already started there 15 minutes ago. And a lot of these workouts, they'll actually have Discord going so that they can actually have a chat as they're riding. So it is very cool. So here I am. I got dropped in with these other people all doing the workout. And it's going to give me an assist for a little bit. And then I have to do the equal amount of work that they are to stay with this group. So really fun. All right, now I'm riding around Yorkshire, and there's a couple other things. With Zwift, it's very easy to create a group meetup where you actually get to meet up with your local friends or friends across the world, and you can ride together. My favorite way to use Zwift is to join actual races. Races in real life are intimidating. I do a lot of gravel racing, I do mountain bike racing, I'm comfortable with those. With all the years that I've been doing bike racing, I've only done one paved road race, and it was a bad experience. So on the last lap, we were down at Waterworks Park, which I figured would be a pretty straightforward course to ride on. But on the last lap, we were going 26 miles an hour, and this guy behind me bumped my rear wheel. He crashed down, and he took out 2 or 3 other riders. So I heard this terrible sound of carbon cracking and bikes getting broken and people sliding across the ground. And quite frankly, I was like, as a chiropractor, I want to protect my body. And I've never done another paved road race since then. So I still do the gravel, still do the mountain biking. But the great thing with Zwift is that you can race, and it doesn't take that same tolerance of risk, because you're just sitting in your basement or in your study room. So I'm going to show you this race, and I'm going to go off the front here and have a little fun. So here goes, and off we go. And so you can see I'm with about 40 people here. And like I say, most of these people, it looks like we're going to go 27 kilometers. And so most of them are going to be like, what is this guy doing going off the front right at the very beginning? And they'll have to decide whether to work hard to catch me. Here comes one guy behind me. And because they're behind me, they don't have to work as hard. So that's the basics of racing. And you can see it is a good workout. I'm breathing heavy right away. But also, if I was doing this full race, I would be super highly motivated to stay with this pack here and try to do as well as I can in the race. All right, well, if any of this has motivated you that you want to get started with Zwift, you're saying, what does it take to get started? You basically need either 2 or 3 different things. First off, you do need something to run the actual game on, but it works fine on both iPhone and Android phones. So when I do my Zwifting at home, I'm using just an iPhone 11, and we actually don't have wireless internet at home. And so it's just going through our cellular connection. It's working fine. I have an HDMI out that goes to a 27-inch TV. It's working great. The second thing you need is a trainer, and there are trainers that have a sensor about what your bike is doing. Those are smart trainers, and there's wheel-on varieties that are about $250 to $300. And then you can get ones where the rear wheel comes off. Those are called direct drive trainers, and those start about $500. And then let's say you have a bike, but just a classic trainer that's not smart. There is just these speed sensors that are about $35. And so if you have a bike that works well enough for you, an old school trainer, you could just get a $35 sensor, use your iPhone or Android phone, and start doing Zwift. And so other than that, if you have more questions, I would just have to recommend going to one of our great local bike shops. I know that Rhino Velo are easily able to set up Zwift for you to give it a try in person. Also, Kyle's Bikes up in Ankeny or in Waukee, they said that they could easily have you come in and experience Zwift in person, and they would be able to steer you in the right direction as far as what would work best for you for a bike and just the full setup that you would need. And so anyways, I was excited to share with you this fitness and entertainment tool that I've been using. The actual subscription to Zwift is $15 a month, and so you can keep it going through the winter, cancel it during the summer when it's nice out, spring and fall. Or some people will just keep it going year round so that on the rainy days, on the days they don't want to go outside, they can still do a good workout. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And yeah, I hope that if some of you choose to use Zwift, you get as much joy out of it and improved fitness and health as I have.